The first, let's go to commentary and join Mark Johnson.
And they're off for the Betway Fairway Stakes listed over the straight mile and a quarter. Courthouse is the one who drops out the back of the field early, and it is towards the near side rail that Department of War has got the early lead. He moves on by about half a length. Racing in second is Old Persian, and in the slipstream of Old Persian is Courthouse on his debut today on the turf. They race down through the first quarter mile with Department of War, a winner on debut at Nottingham, having the lead in the hands of Sean Levy. He's out in front by half a length to William Buick in the blue colours on Old Persian, seeking for a third victory here at Newmarket. And still the back marker is Courthouse and Robert Havlin, who's bidding to give trainer John Gosden a fourth win in the Fairway Stakes, and they continue their journey along now towards the final 5 furlongs and on towards the halfway point, running in the 21st edition of the Fairway Stakes. And now Old Persian moves up alongside Department of War, and still a break of about a length and a half back to Courthouse as now they race on towards the final half mile of the Rowley Mile, and it is Department of War still just has his chestnut head in front over Old Persian, who's now within a nostril and a length and a half away to Courthouse, who is the first one to be niggled along. They've got 3 furlongs to go. Old Persian now eyeballs Department of War, who now is pushed along. Now trying to challenge towards the far side is Courthouse, and they're now about to go inside the final quarter mile. 3 split by a length and a half. The first one to check out is Department of War, and it's Old Persian, the dual course winner, who is now confronted by the turf debutant, Courthouse. Now they meet rising ground. They're inside the final furlong. William Buick, Old Persian, a hard-fought lead of just ahead. Courthouse with one lunge. It won't be enough. It is Old Persian who wins on the Rowley Mile for the 3rd time. Old Persian and William Buick take the 2018 running of the Fairway Stakes.
And odds-on success then for Old Persian, a 3rd course win at Newmarket, sent off the 2-to-1 on market leader. No time to reflect on that performance, however, because we must get off to handlers. Gets the Royal Runner in. They're all set. They're off in the King Edward VII Stakes. They came out to a fairly good line. Frankie was out well aboard Ra Atoll in a red and yellow jacket and has the advantage early on. Elector jumped well, but it's just being reined back as Rostropovich in the blue and orange moves up to apply some pressure to the pace. They freewheel downhill through the first couple of furlongs, and it's Ra Atoll leading narrowly to Rostropovich. Old Persian in a raw blue jacket is close up out wide. Then Giuseppe Garibaldi with a white cap disputing 4th place with Elector the Scarlet Sleeves. Ryan Moore, meanwhile, has got Delano Roosevelt in a purple and white jacket, slightly worse than midfield, shadowed by Highbrow in the dark blue. Alternative Fact in a pink and grey jacket, pulling hard towards the rear of the field. Upsides Wells Fargo, the red cap. Beginning to bear right-handed now at Swinley Bottom, heading to the end of half a mile in the King Edward VII Stakes, and it's Ra Atoll who leads at a leisurely gallop. Old Persian has now taken 2nd. A length away, Rostropovich racing in 3rd. Then Elector, who just about has his nose in 4th place ahead of Giuseppe Garibaldi, 3 parts of a length away to Highbrow as they begin the climb and approach halfway. Moore still sitting patiently with only a couple behind at this stage aboard Delano Roosevelt, and that pair Alternative Fact with the pink cap shadowed by Wells Fargo. On towards the final 5 furlongs. Frankie glancing in behind aboard Ra Atoll. He's got them well stacked up on his tail. Old Persian in the raw blue is close up in 2nd. Rostropovich against the fence. Elector is a little deeper out. Then the white-faced Highbrow, the shadow to Giuseppe Garibaldi. A length and a half Delano Roosevelt. Ryan Moore, the purple cap ahead of Wells Fargo. And Alternative Fact is just last as they leave the half mile behind them and now begin the swing back towards home in the King Edward VII Stakes. Frankie in front here on Ra Atoll, now being pressured by Old Persian and Will Buick. Elector being driven along a couple of lengths away wide of Rostropovich. Then Giuseppe Garibaldi. Delano Roosevelt at this stage, hasn't picked up. Old Persian now puts it up to Ra Atoll as they come inside the two. Old Persian leaning into his rival. Ra Atoll boxing on under pressure. Rostropovich is staying on. Then Giuseppe Garibaldi and Elector. Old Persian in front, drifts to the rail as they come inside the furlong. Rostropovich and Giuseppe Garibaldi. Ra Atoll is rallying. Old Persian is all out here, fending off all his rivals. And Old Persian lands the King Edward VII Stakes from Rostropovich. Giuseppe Garibaldi in third, and Ra Atoll was back in fourth.
The King Edward VII has gone to Old Persian. Charlie Appleby and William Buick teaming up for yet another big race winner. He was returned at 9-2, and he's beaten Rostropovich and Giuseppe Garibaldi back in third place. This is a huge horse with a big stride. He was always prominent in behind Ra Atoll. A little bit of trouble in behind him, but he's galloped on resolutely, Martin, to win this.
He's tremendously game, isn't he? And very, very progressive as well. And having his first try at 1.5 miles today.
Other than that, I'm sure. Kew Gardens will be the last one in, then the only Group 1 winner in the lineup here. Set, and they're off for the Sky Bet Great Voltigeur of 2018 over this 1.5 mile trip. Nelson broke well on the outside there of Old Persian. Wells Fargo is up there as well in the red cap. Sitting just behind them is the favourite Cross Counter, who races alongside Frankie Dettori on Savannah Star. MC Muldoon, the Pentagon, Kew Gardens and Zabriskie brings up the rear, and he's approximately 8 lengths behind the pace as they race across the far side of the Knavesmire and approach the 9 furlong pole. So Michael Hussey, on his first ride here at York, on board the front-running Nelson, leads by 2 lengths, what looks like an honest gallop here. Old Persian racing in second, James Doyle 2.5 lengths away in third, then to Wells Fargo, who's followed by Cross Counter, Savannah Star, flanked then by MC Muldoon, weighted with the Pentagon, and Kew Gardens behind him in the purple cap. And 1.5 lengths last of all is Zabriskie in the hands of Fran Berry as they leave the 7 furlong mark behind them, and they approach the halfway point here. And the field fairly well strung out here. It is a decent pace being set by Nelson, who takes the field along over on the far side now, down the side of the course. In second place still is Old Persian. Wells Fargo is sitting in third place. He's settled well today, Wells Fargo. Racing in fourth place then is Cross Counter, this improving gelding, and favourite for the Great Voltigeur here. And racing on his inside is Savannah Star, just being nudged along by Frankie. Behind him is the Pentagon. MC Muldoon is next. Kew Gardens travelling well towards the rear of the field. Got a bit of ground to make up though, and Zabriskie still last, and now they race on down the centre of the track. They got just over 3 furlongs left to cover here, and making a bit of a forward move now is Wells Fargo, together with Cross Counter on the near side. Down the centre, travelling well, is Old Persian. Nelson is trying to battle back Savannah Star, then the Pentagon on the inside is starting to stay on as well. Kew Gardens is also eating up the ground behind them. Has still got a bit of work on though. They come up towards the final furlong in the Sky Bet Great Voltigeur, and it's the Godolphin 1-2 at the moment. Cross Counter the near side, Will Buick. Old Persian down the centre for James Doyle. Kew Gardens now goes into third and is closing. Got 150 yards left to go, and it's still Old Persian holding Cross Counter on the near side. Old Persian won the Great Voltigeur from Cross Counter. Kew Gardens back in third, and tight for fourth between Wells Fargo and the Pentagon.
It's a 1-2 for Godolphin in the Sky Bet Great Voltigeur Stakes. It's like the good old days. Charlie Appleby first, Charlie Appleby second. James Doyle beats William Buick on the seemingly less fancied of the Godolphin runners, though there was some money for Old Persian late. Doyle, who rides Poet's Word in the Juddmonte International, has already had a fine afternoon because he has won this, even though it's officially
A bit edgy as well. Those are just things that I might bear in mind if he is stretching out another couple of furlongs against the real dyed-in-the-wool stayers at Doncaster. Cross Counter was just a strange run in some respects. He got very edgy and very warm, as we alluded to, and he's just, I don't know, there was a moment in time where he just couldn't quicken as you would have expected, whether he wasn't that happy just in behind horses as opposed to Goodwood where he dominated.
We talked about Godolphin at the beginning of the programme quite extensively. A 1-2, second colours beating the all royal blue in a pattern race on a big day like this. It is like going back in time.
Yeah, and Charlie Appleby has had a phenomenal season, hasn't he? And he's done an outstanding job with the stock that he's had, and he's continually got...
Goes well here under Wayne Lord. Right, they're loading up pretty quickly. Head of the Sheema Classic. Craig, all yours.
Moving in well, Suave Richard disappears into the stalls. Raider Oro about to go up. Old Persian just a little bit unsettled. Racing History with the white cap about to go in and Desert Encounter. With the final horse to go forward once Racing History goes into the stalls. 2,410 metres. Longines Dubai Sheema Classic, presented by Longines. We're all set. Ready. Gates are back and they're racing. Desert Encounter missed the start and will slide across the back of the field. Magic Wand, the filly, commenced beautifully. Went to the lead early on from a Hunting Horn, and Raider Oro up on the outside. Racing History just off them. Old Persian might get the beautiful run. Leaders back here. They will follow then by Suave Richard as they leave the straight. Over to its inside is Cheval Grand, and Tillings away last of all. Desert Encounter as they work their way up the side. Raider Oro for Christophe Lemaire is going to take the front as they work up by the final 2,000 metres. It is Raider Oro in 26.75 showing the way. Over Magic Wand in second. Over on the fence is Old Persian travelling well, and to its outside is Hunting Horn. A length and a half then to Cheval Grand, who's locked away down on the inside of Racing History. Tillings away to Suave Richard in the clear, and Tillings away to Desert Encounter, who's back at the rear of the field. Down the back they go in the Sheema Classic, and allowed to stride. Raider Oro shows out by Tillings. Over Magic Wand in second. Down on the fence, Old Persian. Hunting Horn covers it as they run their way by the final 1,300 metres. Next of all, down on the fence is Cheval Grand. Next is Racing History, the white cap, then Suave Richard, and locked away over on the inside is Desert Encounter. They're about to turn off the back now, and down the side they'll commence to run with Raider Oro dictating the speed as they go by the 1,000. Magic Wand in second position, edging a little closer. Old Persian over on the rails from a Hunting Horn, then Cheval Grand down on the inside of Racing History. Desert Encounter and Suave Richard back at the rear, 8.5 lengths from the leader, which is Raider Oro. Raider Oro not let off the chain yet as they come to the top of the straight. 600 metres to go is still the leader. Magic Wand, the filly, gets a little closer. Old Persian badly needs a run. Outside of it is Hunting Horn. Now Old Persian pushes Hunting Horn out of the way, beginning to run on Cheval Grand down in the middle of the track, followed by Racing History. Magic Wand went to a narrow lead, but Old Persian pounced on it. 280 metres to go. Cheval Grand is down the outside. Suave Richard gets out late. It is Old Persian racing to the front. Suave Richard, Cheval Grand is trying to get there. Old Persian in front. It's well clear over Cheval Grand, and Old Persian takes it out. Old Persian way too good in the Sheema Classic, wins by a length and a half. Second in Cheval Grand, third Suave Richard. A gap away in the field then to Magic Wand and Hunting Horn. They were followed by Raider Oro. Next to come in was Racing History, and back at the tail was Desert Encounter. Lovely ride, lovely win. Old Persian, the 4-year-old by Dabawi, has the world at its feet. Its first up run here in the UAE was...
Often racing and slow on the inside was Old Persian. The rest began almost as one, and Cooler Mike has grabbed the early lead with Tis a Slam deep on the track, going up nicely. In third placing early is Sir Sahib with Focus Group, and trying to angle up the inside for a little bit of a seam and getting it is Old Persian through on the inside. And at the tail end early is Nessie as they start the climb up the hill, and Cooler Mike and Patrick Husbands have raced away to about a 5-length advantage over Tis a Slam. Old Persian, Sir Sahib on the outside. Second last is Focus Group, and at the back is Nessie, tearing further and further ahead. This is the game plan. Patrick Husband says, you got to catch me if you can, as they work into the backstretch, and Cooler Mike in the Northern Dancer has established about a 14-length lead. Tis a Slam is second, 4 lengths away third is Old Persian, and 2 to Sir Sahib, Focus Group, and Nessie is last. Well, I don't know if anyone expected to see this type of margin in front for Cooler Mike. Went through the half in 47 and 3 and has about 16 lengths to spare at the moment. Cooler Mike and Patrick Husbands on top of Tis a Slam. In third placing, Old Persian's 5 behind. 4 to Sir Sahib, a length to Focus Group, and 1 away last is Nessie. And Cooler Mike continues on in front to lead by about 10 lengths. In second position, Tis a Slam has to bring the brigade up. Another 4 or 5 lengths away is Old Persian, and 6 to Sir Sahib. And Luis Saez getting Nessie to respond now, is starting to move past Focus Group at this point, who's a half away last. The leader has certainly maybe hit the wall here. Cooler Mike is not just only 3 in front, but is also out of gas. And coming up is Tizza Slam on the outside to go for the lead. A 4-length gap, Old Persian. So Cooler Mike joined by Tizza Slam on the outside, who's run to the front. 2.5 to Old Persian. Nessie behind Sir Sahib trying to get going, and Focus Group. And out in front in the Northern Dancer, Tizza Slam by only a length to Old Persian. And Nessie Focus Group start to run home as they corner. Tizza Slam a length in front. Old Persian is second. Down the centre are Focus Group, and between is Nessie. Old Persian's gone to the front. Tizza Slam on the inside. 2 lengths away is Nessie. Focus Group the outside, but it's Old Persian. A furlong to run. Went to the inside, 2 in front. Tizza Slam in second. Nessie trying in very desperate race finish order. It's going to be Old Persian way out in front to the wire to win by 3. Nessie in a head bob for second and third, with Focus Group and Tizza Slam. A long gap, Sir Sahib and Cooler Mike to 27.78.